being active, you know.
100% agree.
But moving on, so Jabal Ali, one of Dubai's oldest residential communities, will soon be demolished. Property developer Nakheel is set to redevelop the community into two-story luxury villas, and residents of the village have been told they have 12 months to vacate their homes ahead of the redevelopment. The new community will have 3 clusters, complete with modern villas, swimming pools, parks, and sports facilities, including bike trails, jogging tracks, cycle paths, and sports courts. Long-term residents of the community are very emotional and devastated about leaving their home, and will not be offered a property in the new villas. And many can't afford the luxury villas. In fact, some residents are also planning on leaving Dubai altogether.
This is it's a really interesting story about communities changing. I think it's very heartbreaking for the residents. And obviously a revolving conversation has come out of it about what it means for communities changing. But I think with the Jebel Ali Village in particular, it's been around since like the 1970s, and it's such like an iconic piece of structure. And Khalifa Al Ghaz on Twitter said something that I thought was quite interesting. He said, if there's no asbestos or structural damage, I think that refitting Jebel Ali Village and keeping its external, now iconic and also nostalgic facade and feel is a unique selling point that is unrivaled in Dubai. It's so unnecessary to completely remove it and have it replaced. So that's kind of, I think, the school of thought that it's like, sometimes there's gentrification because there's older buildings to bring them forward, and then there's the case of,
if it's not broken, don't fix it.
And then it's like, oh, does it have icon status? Does it have icon status? I don't know.
I live around that vicinity, and honestly, since I've moved there, it seems as if things have been developing the entire time. And I think it's necessary. Gentrification is a step forward within a community or a city or a space. And having stuff like bike tracks being made available and swimming pools and like tennis courts and stuff like that, that just gets people more active. It builds a sense of community around that area, and it's giving people different resources to connect and be a part of a community.
In terms of a developer, 100%, they want to, I guess, provide a different type of lifestyle maybe. So from the developer's aspect, and they're probably also like adding all those additional things, it makes so much sense. But then you obviously have the people who've been in those homes for so long who need to leave, and that's kind of the real kind of heartbreaking aspect to the story, I think. But we move on.
That's life.
so cutthroat. Before we move on, actually, we're going to talk all the great things in Dubai this weekend. We're going to be talking about a vlogger who surprised his sister with the most expensive Rolls Royce. However, why is this on this table? Because we are giving away free coffee merch, which includes a fancy Nestle Dolce Gusto machine. Woo! Here beside me is going to do a little bit of a show off, and all you need to do is tell us how many cups of coffee you drink a day. Best answer wins, and we'll see your comments all coming through throughout the show. Also, quick shout out that Simran's not here this morning because she was working late last night at a fancy party that you also attended.
Yep. I don't want to talk about it.
You look very fresh for someone who was at a nice fancy party last night.
Thank you. I'm running on an hour and a half of sleep, but I'm here. Let's do this. Yeah, right. But there's only 8 more hours to go.
8 more hours to go.